Welcome everyone for joining this success story webinar. Apologies for a little delay. There are some technical issues. Today we have Pavan, who recently joined L&T as an associate data scientist, data science role, associate engineer. And this session is to learn from his experience, to understand what are the things he has done, his profile. He's from mechanical engineering background, passed out in 2020. So it's 2 years after his graduation, and did the course of certified data scientist from DataMites. And I was the lead mentor, Ashok Veda. I'm out of station, so apologies for ignore the background noise. All right, Paul, thank you very much for taking your time for sharing your experience. You can start with sharing your journey of data science career.
Sorry, sir. There was some issue with your voice. So can you please repeat the question, sir?
All right. So I'm outstation, so internet is really bad.
Oh,
but
sorry.
I wanted to myself to be in the call in spite I'm not at the station, because I really love to congratulate you and learn from your experience, also inspire the others. Am I clear now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So my question was, just walk us through to your learning experience and your experience of landing into a data science job. Just an open question. Yeah.
Sure, sir. First, I thank everyone from DataMites team, including my mentor Hemant sir and you, sir, Ashok Veda sir, and also the placement assistance team. So I had a little programming background. Basically, in my third year of my engineering, I completed my Python. So after researching more about it, I came to know about data science. So I researched a lot regarding institutes. I traveled to various institutes and all, and somewhere I convinced that DataMites is something which the course content is something which I like and which is relevant to what I'm looking for. So I joined the DataMites on Jan 25th, 2021. So the last year batch. So this after attending after joining the classes, so the way of explanation of the Hemant sir, he took our class. So and the way of explanation and the teachings of and assignments given to us, which helped me a lot in learning more about it and landing a job in L&T.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm very happy for you. I want to go into a little bit more detail. I keep muting in between if some vehicle is passing by.
Sure.
Please ignore that. All right.
Sure.
So I'm going to go a little detail about your learning process, especially because there is a lot of myth they're saying a mechanical student cannot come to data science. Well, it is well established that data science are not required to be software engineers. It's a very wide skill. Anyone from any domain can enter. So you specifically coming from mechanical background, and that too just started a year ago and landed in the data science job. So I'm going to ask you a detailed question about.
Sorry.
Do you have programming background before? Have you been a developer before joining this data science DataMites?
Sorry, sir. Sorry to.
Do you know? Are you a programmer? Do you know Python before joining the course?
Sir, I have done a Python course before joining the institute, and I had some little bit background in Python. And coming to as a non-programmer from mechanical background to data science, it was actually new to me, since only the Python is not one of the basic necessities in data science. We had a mathematics part, and we have the advanced Python like NumPy library modules, pandas libraries and all. So this was something new to me, and it required a lot of practice to get the knowledge of it.
Okay, so just to say that you learned the Python and it was not really required in depth, isn't it?
Yeah.
And did you face any Python related questions in interview?
Oh yes, sir. I first the interview stages started from basic Python questions like write a simple program to the advanced questions like in-depth questions like define an array and to convert the data types like that. So and so the advanced questions like write a program in a function format. So those are some of the questions I faced in an interviews. Yes, sir.
Okay. So all related to essential Python, right? Not into OOPS
Yes.
programming or advanced Python as such.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's very good. And you learned it in few months' time
Yes.
before you started this course.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions asked in statistics in particular?
Yes, sir. Basically, the more questions was on the hypothesis testing part and the various tests to find out the accuracy, like the Z test. Where do we need to use the T test? What are the types, like one sample T test, two sample T test? So those are some of the in-depth questions which asked for me in the statistics and probability part.
Okay, so did you refer any material in the material you read from DataMites for statistics?
Sorry, sir.
Did you refer other materials for statistics apart from the data science course material?
I referred many websites like Geeks for Geeks, for programming part, and for mathematics part. I also referred some textbooks available in PDF format, like statistics for data science and all, along with the DataMites material. And also, if any for specific concepts like Z score and all. So I used to watch Ashok sir's videos, which is posted in YouTube. So this helped me a lot in understanding the topic.
Okay, it would be really helpful if you share the materials you referred to DataMites team so that they can put on the links in the YouTube or wherever your video is posted. So that will help the learning community. Okay.
Sure, sure, sir.
Okay, so how long
Sorry.
you spent for machine learning? So how time it took for you to get a hang of machine learning and doing things by yourself?
Sir, it took me around 3 to 4 months of preparation for machine learning in depth. Since I was a little bit, slow in learning to learn each and every concept, I concentrated on each and every concept to get to have a thorough knowledge of the algorithms and the math behind the algorithms. So it took me a long time, but I would recommend that if I have, dedicating a long time for the studying process of these machine learning algorithms and the mathematics behind it, I think we can reduce it to a little bit less, a little bit more time in preparing for it.
How long you spend per day in these 3 to 4 months while learning machine learning?
So I spent around 5 to 6 hours per day in learning this machine learning algorithms and the mathematics behind it. For statistics, around 4 hours per day. For statistics.
Okay, so in and all, you spent about 6-7 hours every day for
Yeah.
data science for about 4 to 5 months, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. When did you start applying for jobs? How long it took to actually get the interview calls?
So I started applying when I was in the internship. Almost around 6 months. I attended 7 to 8 interviews, and by now, like in January in 2022, I landed up in L&T at the last interview.
Okay, so while you're in internship, you already have. Oh, you're talking about DataMites internship.
Yes, sir.
All right. So while you're in DataMites internship, you started applying, right? That was which month in last year?
It was March. I think it's in March, sir. March 2021.
Okay, so very third month of your course, you started applying.
Yes, sir.
That's very good. Okay, so how many interviews you attended before you finally cracked the L&T?
I attended 7 to 8 interviews. The eighth interview was my L&T, sir.
That's another important point for learning community. I see a lot of people. I trained more than 15,000 people in past 6 years, 5-6 years. So a couple of interviews, if they couldn't go through, they come back. They come back saying something wrong with my learning. I'm not able to crack. But it usually takes about, on an average, 6 to 7 interviews before you actually, because every interview is a learning for you. So when they ask something which you don't know, you essentially take it as an opportunity to make a note of it, come back, not only study that particular question, maybe study that entire area, revise that entire area one more time. And if you keep on going through this process for a few months, definitely you will crack the, so as Pavan did. Thank you, Pavan, for that.
and it all
Right.
because of the DataMites placement assistant team, which which got me an interview to attention.
Okay, I'm very
So
glad
it was
DataMites placement team is doing fantastic. I appreciate Farzana, who is the head of placement from DataMites. That's my next question. Uh, how was the
yes.
service? Where did you start with the placements? What are the things you have done with the placement services which helped you to get into the job?
Sir, before getting into interviews, we had a mock interview session by the placement assistance team. I attended 3 to 4 mock interviews where I got to know the areas of improvements before I go into actual interview. And I thank the placement assistance team and Fasana ma'am for it. So after that, they scheduled me around 7 to 8 interviews, and from each interview, I came to know that what are the weakness which I'm areas of improvement I need to improve, and it all helped me in landing the final job in L&T.
Could you point us a couple of the weaker areas you learned from your failed interviews and then started working on it? What are the areas you revisited and learned again?
Yes, sir, sure, sir. So the areas which at starting of my time, no, at starting of the interview was I had a theoretical knowledge of the concepts like in the math, the statistics and probability, but I was very weak in applying it in the programming part, and also some machine learning algorithms. Uh, I was very weak in getting to know about what are the suitable algorithms and how to like how to apply those algorithms to the data, and what are the process in the data analysis steps, what was the pre-processing part. So these are some of the things which I was lacking behind, and through the 7 to 8 interviews I came to know, I learned a lot about it, and it made me so professional in dealing with the data science related process, and it helped me a lot in in coming upcoming interviews, each and every interview.
Did they ask you about algorithms specifically and the mathematical part of it, or they asked about how do you apply to the data?
Yes, sir. The first asked me about the basic algorithm part, and what are the queries, like what are the features of it, and then when answering the questions about it, they went in depth about the what is the math behind it and all. Yeah.
So you suggest we should also look into the mathematics side of the each and every algorithm.
Yes, sir, definitely. Mathematics is one of the important part, along with the other parts like Python related and all. Yes.
I would like to insist on this. A lot many people uh, mathematics is not really required, which is actually true, because when we really do the projects outside, we have been delivering projects for 100 clients past 5 years as a Rubik's, which is an AI company. Most of our own AI engineers who have been working for 3-4 years, they had a lot of mathematical background. I just did mathematics when they came in our company. But when we really deliver the project, we really don't have to worry too much about how that algorithm works. You really have to know the mathematics and statistics for data cleaning preparation part. So mathematics in a real world, when you deliver projects, it's not important. Having said that, when you switching your career to data science, the first interviews, they definitely go into mathematics, because that's how we get to know how strong your fundamentals are, right? So when someone says mathematics is not important in the real world, I'm not denying it. I'm saying that's true, but that doesn't mean that you can skip the mathematics, because your first interview job interviews will definitely touch the mathematics, because that's the only way we can know that how strong are your fundamentals of machine learning. If you're strong in mathematics and foundation, learning another algorithm or fine-tuning another thing is really easy. So we look at the patient. So mathematics is really important for the first interviews in your data science.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Uh, okay, so these are the questions. Normally, how long the interview happened with L&T? You can also say the previous interviews. What was an average interview period?
So average interview was
How
like
much time to go?
yeah, it was around 3 to 4 rounds of interviews on average. But in L&T, I had 2 rounds. The first one was the screening round, which involved just a Q&A, like asking questions on data science related questions, the basic questions. And the second one was the applying data science related on like writing a program and executing them. So that was the second round, and explaining the concepts. Moreover, and they asked me the questions related to the deep learning, the CNN and ANN questions, which I had to learn. And yeah, sir.
Okay, that's wonderful. Yeah, so that's an average pattern of any interview, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just thinking what else. Before I leave it to a Q&A, I'm sure a lot of questions have come in YouTube and for others. There's one question. Arjun Ramswamy is asking. You can take this question. Is asking,
Yes.
how do you apply to interviews? What are the channels you use to apply to interviews? That's a good question. You take that, Pavan.
Sure, sir. So one is I used to apply for jobs through LinkedIn, and another is the placement as team, which helped me a lot in attending interviews.
Okay, so LinkedIn and the placement assistant. These are only two things you looked at. No other
Yes, sir.
channels. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. DataMites placement is a placement team is the one who got you more interviews, right? The one
Yes,
you
sir.
cracked is actually came from that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, I'll elaborate this answer a bit. Pavan got it through DataMites placement scheme, but in general, LinkedIn is very popular. So LinkedIn is becoming like, I would say 80%. I mean, we also look into LinkedIn when you are hiring ML data scientists for our clients. I hired for PayPal for about a year. We built a team in PayPal. So our conversion rate in LinkedIn is about 80%. So most of the people who came from who finally crossed the interviews are from LinkedIn. Another 20% is reference. So I can bluntly tell you, LinkedIn is the place you look at.
So I hope you are Arjun.
Did you?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that answers.
Yeah, I hope Arjun Ramswamy got an answer.
So he's asking all through online. What is asking? When you apply for a job, yes, it's all through online.
Yeah, it's
That's
all
also
through
right.
online.
When you simply Arjun, you can Google for DataMites. I got a video, I think a couple of months ago. We talk about in your, like, how do you prepare your resume or the keyword you and high level. So that could help. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So did you have questions on deployment?
I think, Pavan, did you have any questions came from deployment part in the interviews?
No, sir. They asked me a little bit about deployment and all. Since I know I had some knowledge about AWS, I was learning there. So I told them some the basic concepts of AWS, and they were okay with it.
Is any other technical questions came in the interviews? So if we can specifically tell them it is easy for to people when going for interview they can prepare accordingly.
So I would suggest that if you are attending any interview, so first be perfect with the basic concepts like the Python, the math part like statistics and probability, and then comes the machine learning and SQL. These are some of the main concepts which you have to learn and work on some around 4 to 5 projects or more if you have any accessibility, and work on projects more and apply all these concepts in it, so that you will be a little bit more have a perfection in any field, and work on various domains for projects. Uh, it will have a more impact on your resume part.
I think Arjun have one more question. Python, statistics, SQL, ML algorithms are many topics. Among this, for which topics you spend most of your time?
Okay, so I spend most of the time on the mathematics part, the statistics and the probability part, and it took me a long time to cover those and learn those concepts. And I wish that I knew those basics before I apply for interviews.
Is there any questions came from the project which you done from DataMites or any other project?
Yes, definitely. There were some minimal questions because I explained my project in my resume so thoroughly that I projected each and every aspects, like the challenges I faced and what are the outcomes of it, and what was the accuracy of my model got. So basically, the whole data for the whole project was explained in a cut short way in my resume. So there were some minimal questions on it. Like yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I hope, Pavan, you also done an internship from DataMites.
Yes, sir.
How was the internship experience and how it helped to your interview?
Yeah, so I did around 4 to 5 projects in internship in DataMites. So each and every project was from different domain, and choosing different domain helped me a lot in getting a domain knowledge of various aspects, and doing projects in this gave me different challenges. For example, if I take a simple data set, I would have done any basic analysis, and when coming to another project, there were some another challenges. So I used to apply more and more techniques of data science in various projects, which helped me a lot to learn more about it.
Thank you, Jasir. Pavan, I went out. As I said, internet is bad. Am I audible now?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. I think most of the things are answered. When a lot of people come for, like, they wanted to do data scientist, right? So people think it's a long journey. In fact, more than 50% people drop out even before joining. They would have done a lot of research. They would have really, took months of time to research, and they finally don't get the confidence to actually take it, especially people coming from mechanical and non-IT background, someone like you, right? But you did it, right? So what is the message, right? It is very clear that data science is not only for IT. In fact, it's more non-IT nowadays. It's more than 50-60% coming from non-IT. What kept you going, without dropping like the other 50%? What's your message on that?
So in my college days, my ambition was to get into IT field. But once when I researched about more and more about the Python opportunities, I came to know about data science. So once I entered the data science background, the process of the techniques we used in analyzing the data sets and getting insights from it, and those processes fascinated me in learning more and more concepts and more and more domains through it. Like, for example, recently I came to know about the process mining, and it fascinated a lot to learn more about it, which made me here.
Okay, so to answer to summarize the question, you just started. You didn't think much. You just started learning data science, and then you started loving it. You got passionate about it, and then you made it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's a good message. It's really important to start. It is not scary, and it is definitely not very difficult, because close to 30-40% people actually transition into the career within first year itself, like Pavan, right? So the key is to actually to get started, right? That's
once we get started, we get to know the difficulties in that field, in that particular field, so we can deal with it and solve it.
Okay. Jasir, if you see any questions, or DataMites team, any questions from?
Yeah, there's one question from Anusha. What was your earlier experience? Are you a fresher?
Yeah, so I have a 6 months experience working in DataMites. That was my first internship, and also I mentioned that in my resume and also in the recent L&T interview. And the basis of on the internship, they have recruited me.
One question from Paresh. So he's from mechanical background. He wants to switch to data science career. So he's selling, can I attend an online class or offline class? So this more for us. I think Paresh, we have two mode of training. We are into physical training and online training, but preferably currently, because of pandemic, and most of the attendees are attending online. So it's a live interactive sessions where you can interact with our trainer. So there will be gamification, case study, group activities involved. So it's similar like a classroom experience. I think Pavan also part of our live session. Pavan can add couple of points.
Yeah, so I was in the offline classes batch last year. So yeah, I know they since they offer both of them, and due to pandemic, the online session has been started. I think it doesn't matter if it is online or offline. What matters is how do you grasp the concepts and how do you listen to the lectures and clarify your doubts.
Yeah.
I think Paresh,
So that's a very good point, Pawan, because it's the same lecturers, same teachers in your class. Some would have reached heights in the career, some are settled for an average job. So it's about how do you understand, grasp, how do you dedicate your time, how do you make your plans correct to switch. Thank you, Pawan. I'm really glad that you made. In fact, one of the reasons I'm still involved in training people is that it gives a lot of satisfaction to be a part of a journey of someone's switching their careers, achieving their dreams. So I'm very happy for you. I wish you all the best. I don't have any further questions. DataMites can take over. Thank you, Pawan. Thank you, everyone.
Pavan, one last question we have. This is for all data science aspirants. So what was the one message you want to give to all the aspirants who really want to switch their career into data science?
I would like to say that for the aspirants that, so if you want to switch into data science, there are so many, there may come in many many issues dealing with data science related. If you're from any non-coding background or any background, it takes a lot of time, but have some passion about it and work more and more hours on it and dedicate more time to it so that you can achieve your goal.
Thank you, Pavan. Thank you all joining us for today, and we wish you all the best to Pavan. Thank you. We'll come back and we'll have a lot of success story coming by next week. We will post in our social media. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you. You too, sir.